Yo, what's the deal, folks? It's been a long time. It's your man Eeze. I hope you're all out there doing well. Been enjoying the holiday season, spending time with the fam. I know it's been a while. It's been a while. Been a little busy, but we're back now, right? Before we go any further, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Life is all about setting goals, and a goal of mine is to have 1,000 subscribers within the next 60 days. So if you're watching this, I really appreciate it. You coming back and tuning in and engaging in the content. But don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. All right. All right. So, before I go any further, last video we did, I want to thank you all for all the engagement and the comments and just dropping gems and jewels concerning the Nostradamus episode I did and how the critics got it wrong. Granted, I wasn't stating that it was a classic, but some people just were outlandish with their reviews and their opinions, and it was kind of bogus and pretty evident that they didn't really listen to the music. So that's why I did that video, and I wasn't really trying to sway anyone's opinion. I was just trying to, share some information that sometimes we get. I would say we tend to sway with what other people are stating, as opposed to living through our own experiences. And I felt as though that album, although it wasn't Illmatic, obviously, or it was written, or Stillmatic, it was a pretty decent album. All right, so I appreciate you all for tuning in and checking that out. And if you haven't checked it out, you can click the link above. I'll put it up there, and check it out when you get a chance. All right, so today, there was a video that was floating around maybe about 2.5 to 3 weeks ago where Alchemist was speaking on Nas passing on. We're Gonna Make It. And the first thing that came to my mind was the video I did concerning that, does Nas pick whack beats, which I totally disagree with that whole sentiment. But when I watched the video, I was intrigued by it. Initially, I was going to leave it alone because I felt like it was beating a dead horse. But I think that subject is something that we should really unpack. That beat alone, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't just Nas; it was quite a few artists who passed on it. But instead of me running my mouth, let's let Alchemist do his thing, and we'll chop it up after the video.
People don't even know. I tracked that beat for Nas. After that, when Nas was doing the 41st album, he picked that beat, and I tracked it to a 2-inch tape for him. It was going to be his solo song. And then he left town, came back, and they're like, nah, he didn't do it. Nashawn is going to use it or something. And I was like, I took it back. I also played We Gonna Make It for Jay-Z in person.
That could have been a Nas record, or it could have been a Jay-Z.
Could have been a Nas record, could have been a J record. Very close, yes.
So Kiss gets the beat, makes the song, and then were you completely surprised when Razzcast comes out of the
I
work?
don't remember how it went. It was kind of like, oh man, kind of a letdown on how it all unfolded. But Kiss record was so big, and when you look back in history, it was meant to be. Yeah, I'll never forget the day Kiss played the verse. I was over there. I went to Yonkers. And the first line, it was already like, holy shit.
So there you have it, man. I think a lot of times, we tune into certain things and interviews and things of that nature, and we go into things wanting what we wanted. But after hearing Alchemist speak, first off, We're Gonna Make It. We got a classic. Now, granted, Nas and Jay are who they are. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have done their thing, but after what was released from that beat, the back and forth with Styles and Jada, I don't think many things could top that. So everything worked out in the end. Those individuals got the beat, did what they did, and we got a classic out of it. But the whole notion or the premise of this video was the fact that no one bats 1,000. Even the greatest ears in music not miss out, but they pass on certain things because it just doesn't fit the lane that they're trying to go in at that particular moment. And sometimes some of the greatest beats or beats that we've heard end up being, or beats that we haven't heard, end up sitting on people's hard drives because that artist feels as though it doesn't fit the direction they're going in for a particular project. So We're Gonna Make It is not the only beat that's been passed on by multiple artists, because we always like to speak on how Nas picks whack beats, but a lot of artists, I wouldn't say they deny, but they elect to not select certain beats from producers. And in hindsight, we look back and say, oh, they were bugging off of that. But 9 times out of 10, that beat usually ends up getting to the right person, or the fit is perfect. So that's what music is all about, right? It's all about ear, what you like, and if you can create to it, make it happen. All right. But I want to go down history or memory lane. There's a lot of beats out there that's within hip hop that we love, but that were not initially intended for that particular artist, right? So I'm gonna share my screen real fast, see what's going on with this. You know, I love to do presentations, man. It's a teacher in me. But first off, right? Look here, I say that nobody bats 1,000, right? We're Gonna Make It is just the tip of the iceberg. Jay-Z passed on Whoa. Black Rob's beat, Whoa. Crazy beat produced by Buck Wild. One of the greatest beats ever created in hip hop history. Just my opinion, right? But in hindsight, wouldn't you say that that beat got to the correct person? Jay is who he is. He is who he is. But Black Rob gave us a classic. So are you willing to cross out what Black Rob contributed to the culture just to hear Jay's version? Valid question, right? Number 2, Heart of the City, as we all know, was intended for DMX. Heart of the City of Blueprint, classic album. Would X have done his thing? Absolutely, no doubt about it. It was soul in it. That's what he was about. He could have possibly gave us some more of that pain that he's accustomed to giving over the music, which makes us timeless. But Jay gave us a flawless song. You know what I mean? So it usually ends up getting where it's supposed to be. That's the production, that is. Ghostface. Just Blaze stated that Girls is initially intended for him. I can hear Ghost on that. I can. Now, most people hate that hook. Well, not most people, but a lot of people state that they hate the hook, how it's repetitive, and it didn't. It wasn't much to it, but I think that it fit what he was trying to do perfectly. But Ghost would have aided, but I just feel as though if you take that away from the blueprint, it's missing something. So it ended up getting to the correct person. Heard him say 2006, late registration? Yeah. Common passed on that. You could hear Common on it, but Ye did his thing. I'm going to keep reiterating that. The music typically gets where it's supposed to reside. You know what I mean? Like, we may want, in hindsight, you may want to hear that person on it, but these are big records that I'm not willing to take away from the hip hop experience just to have a do-over per se. Jigga Nanig off the Rough Riders compilation. Kiss passed on that. He would have ate it. I don't believe Jada ever had a whack verse. So we're coming from the 3-verse and the hook era. So I'm pretty sure it would have been solid. But Jay did his thing on that. That's a memorable song, man. What's that, 98, 99? Busta Rhymes passed on Large Professor's halftime beat, which ended up being on the classic Illmatic. Do you want to hear Busta on it? Not to say that he's not good or great at what he does, but that's Nas's joint, halftime. That's from a classic album. Are we willing to revise history just to hear what we want to hear? And Diddy passed on 0 to 100, which ended up being Drake's joint, and that joint was everywhere. It was a monster. I think it was produced by Boy Wonder. Yeah, Boy Wonder. But that was just an example, man. Like, nobody bats 1,000. A lot of artists pass on notable hits because it may not fit the direction they're going in, or it may end up sitting on their hard drive, and the producer has to do what they have to do because they have to feed their families, right? So you're not going to use it, Nas, you're going to give it to Nation, I'm going to give it to Jada. It ends up, the universe makes sure that music ends up where it's supposed to be. But this is just not exclusive to hip hop. If we're doing true history, Hits have been passed on many times. Another example, or first example, let's go ahead. CeeLo Green, right? He passed on Happy. Pharrell, I guess, say, yo, he passed on it. Let me try it out. We all know what that ended up being. A monster. Who didn't know that song? They had politicians in there on Capitol Hill dancing to it. It was crazy. Everywhere. Everyone knew that song. Still do. Ends in Paris. Pusha T passed on that. I love Pusha. You know what I'm saying? Pusha is another one of them cats that don't have whack verses. He's a MC's MC. You know what I'm saying? But that was a monster record. Jay and Ye took that to the moon. Everybody passes on joints, man. We got to stop this narrative about who can't pick what and don't do this. No, this is how it works. You can't have it all. These are mega hits right here that were passed on, right? Whitney, How Will I Know? Monster pop hit. Janet Jackson passed on that. Now, hearing Whitney perform that and lay it down, they're two different type of artists. So would you want to hear Janet sing that now? Probably not. It ended up going where it was supposed to be. And lastly, I know this isn't hip hop. Most of this list isn't, but it's important to know that hip hop is a part of music, right? So that's why we're going into this whole sharing this information. Umbrella, you know what I'm saying? R&B, which featured a hip hop artist, was passed on by Britney Spears. Would you want to hear Britney sing that now? Not to say once again that she wouldn't do a thing, but that was a monster hit for Rihanna. Monster hit. So I just think that I just wanted to share that, man, because from time to time, if you do your history and you really into this music thing, art creating art is a very unique experience. What you hear the next person probably won't. It's just like you listen to some beats, like maybe a Sean Garrett may have done, well written with Swiss Beats off Beyonce. What was the name of it? Ring the Alarm, I believe. How he heard the melody in that is something I can't even fathom. But some people hear things in the music that others don't. And typically, a lot of music is passed around and ultimately it ends up being where it's supposed to be. And as Alchemist stated in that video, it was meant to be. It got where it was supposed to be, man. So that's all I wanted to share with y'all, man. Let me know in the comment section what you think. What do you think about that? First of all, with the whole Nas, we gonna make it. Are you willing to trade that classic song just to hear Nas's version? Leave that in the comment section. And also, passing on beats or hits, does that mean that you don't have an ear? Those are valid questions. So are you willing to trade the classic We Gonna Make It just to hear Nas's version? And also passing on mega hits or specific beats, does that mean that you don't have an ear? All right. I love kicking it with y'all, man. Love it, man. So make sure you leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Remember, I'm on a mission trying to get to 1,000 subscribers within 60 days. It's your man Eeze. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay ambitious. There's nothing you can't do out here. And as always, go get yours. Love is love. Love y'all.